Hughes, a disappointing exit to our FA Cup voyage. Firstly, just sum up your feelings at the minute.
A bit good. Good. You know, the lads have been on a fantastic run. I'm gutted for every one of them. I'm gutted for the fans, the club itself. You know, it's been some journey that we've been on. You know, I think what was we 11 unbeaten before coming into this game, and it's just unfortunate that's come to an end. Obviously, you don't want to lose any games, but the reality of the matter is you are going to lose games. It's how you bounce back. I think we've got a really, really strong group led by a fantastic manager and backroom staff that, you know, we can be down, you know, it's going to hurt for 24 hours, but I'm a big believer in that you can't get too high with the highs or too low with the lows, you know. And it's important now we go into Tuesday, that's our bread and butter, that's the league, and we put things right because we have lads in this dressing room that are capable of doing so. And I think if you dwell too much on what's just happened, as much as it does hurt, it can be a very quickly downward spiral, so it's important that we don't let that happen.
Just to focus more on the game, unfortunately now, that first sort of half did not feel anything that we'd seen all season. What do you think contributed to that? Do you think it was the occasion or maybe just that early goal?
Yeah, do you know what, when you're playing in that environment and, you know, it's a bit frantic and maybe the lads, we all weren't at the races in that first half. You can't put your finger on it, you know, it's just one of those things that happens, unfortunately. It's not like we're going out there and trying to play poorly or we're trying to do the wrong things. It just didn't click. Now, good dressing rooms and good teams rectify that quickly, and we were unable to do that in that first period, you know, and rightly so. We come in, we had a rocket, and we had to go then to the second half and put things right. You know, we had nothing to lose. We come in 2-0 down. They scored early, but you've seen there at the end we have got fight. So the first half, that is unlike us as a players, and it's, you know, there's no excuse for it. However, it shows the characters we do have and the fight that we do have that will go to the end. You know what? If we're going to get beaten, we're going out with dignity, with pride, and going out fighting.
Obviously, that last 10 minutes, especially when the first one went in, you sort of had that little bit of a could it happen? Sort of just explain then that last 10 minutes or so.
Do you know what? In a funny way, it's frustrating because I wish we had that belief earlier, regardless if we score or not. Having that belief that we are going to get a goal or we are going to do something positive, be on the front foot, be horrible, be aggressive, be in people's faces. And I think that first goal, it kind of triggered that. And then all of a sudden, like you've just said there was a sense of, come on, if we get this next goal here, it's a game changer. And special mention to Seb, because I think he's kept us in the game, especially when we were going for it. But when we got that second, it was almost like, come on, we can do it. Like, I'm not just saying we're going to draw the game, we're going to go and win this game. We'll win this game. But it's a little too late. And like I reiterate what I said before about, you know, that belief before. I feel like we should have had that belief before because we've got a good group.
Do you also feel that sort of, you know, you think about the opposition and taking them into account, that sometimes maybe teams at our step, we might have got away with that, or things might, you know, we could have got a point out of it or a win, but because obviously the cup against the side at step 3 level, it's just a bit that sort of professionalism and that know-how where they can see the game out like we can.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, if we play like that the first 45 minutes against anyone, we get turned over. There's no excuses for it, there's no reasons behind it. But if we play like that, we're going to get turned over. So that's why we need to quickly rectify that come Tuesday. And I don't necessarily think it's a case of they were a step higher, because we've gone to Brackley and we've won. We've gone to Gainsborough and we've won. We've proven ourselves against teams higher up the pyramid. We've got a very strong squad. And we know that we don't underestimate anyone. You know, we prep for this game like we have done on our unbeaten run. You know, and we will prep for Tuesday like we have prepared all season, because that's just how we do things. That's how professional we are, led from top to bottom of this football club. And again, I think that first 45 minutes is so out of character. Can't explain it. Not going to make excuses for it. Apologise to the fans who had to sit through the first 45 minutes, but I feel like they can walk away proud of what we achieved here today, and we just need to all stick together and move on to Tuesday.
Obviously now we look on to Tuesday, and the league picture looks slightly more exciting since we've come out of it. Yes, Dunstan have picked up 1 point, but they've obviously they've lost and dropped points.
Yeah.
A little bit like our start to the season now. Obviously we've got those games in hand. How important is it to now forget about this performance, forget about the result or the occasion, just go straight back into the bread and butter, as you say?
Absolutely. I think we've obviously the results have fallen in our favour today, which is one positive out of today. But do you know what? It's always been about Worksop Town. We've got to do our job. You know, we can't just go into games expecting to win. We're everyone's cup final. You've heard people talk about us. We had players today even saying about budgets and this, that, and the, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. We've got a good, hard-working group of players, and we don't make excuses. We're here to do a job. Now, as you refer to, bread and butter is Tuesday, and it's important that we get back to that, get back to winning ways, and put our stamp our authority on things, because ultimately there's going to be games in hand, and the pressure is then on us to win them games in hand, otherwise they're irrelevant.
And then finally, you touched on a little bit earlier with the supporters through this run have been fantastic and backed in the numbers. Have you got one final word for sort of to close this FA Cup?
Yeah, look, gutted. I share all the feelings that they're probably feeling, but a tremendous amount of pride knowing that we've got some fantastic supporters. They are remarkable, I must say. The love and the support and the messages I get, I try and respond to as many as I can, but not just for me, for everyone. They're outstanding, and they're firmly part of this football club, and they will be part of this journey, and what a journey it could be altogether.